Right, here is a relatively simple graph which took about 6 of WPP's keenest commercial brains hours to work out. Nick, didn't it? Yes, it did. It absolutely did. The amount of debate that went into this. And it's building on some of the stuff that, again, Blair was talking about in terms of games, and particularly pitching games. The reason we've built this in is because after about 7 or 8 years of negotiation training, increasingly we heard the words, all this negotiation stuff is fine when we're face-to-face with the client, but when we're pitching, it all goes to pot. And we thought, well, what's going wrong here? And we started thinking about this from a gaming point of view, and we started thinking about it from a power dynamics point of view. So along the bottom axis, we have something called time, from the point the request for proposal hits the agency desk to the point where the work gets awarded and the work starts. On the vertical axis, we have an arbitrary thing called agency power. I'm going to pinch one of Michael's ideas. Michael, what was it, SMUs, Michael? Yeah. I'm going to come up with the Kinnaird work power mechanism or something, you know, an acronym for power. Yeah, when you think about that one. So just think about it relatively. Is it high or is it low? Our proposal is that when an RFP hits the table to 10 different agencies, it's going out to a long list. Agency power is actually pretty high at that point. And that might seem strange, but think about it this way. A procurement's game, a pitch game, only works if the right agency players are part of that pitch. There will be, let's say 10 agencies. There'll be 5 agencies that marketing says have to be in there. There might be another 5 agencies that procurement would like to be in there because they want to bring some challengers, they want to bring some new thinking, whatever else as well. If you are one of those 5 that marketing say they have to be there, you have the power to negotiate your way into a pitch. So if you don't like the pitch rules, if you don't like the timescales, if you don't like the fact that it says, agree to my standard terms and conditions, within which is 180-day payment terms and all the rest of it, you have the right to say no. Well, why don't we? Well, we don't often because we're fearful of getting kicked out of the pitch. But think about it this way. If the client's prepared to kick you out of the pitch right at the beginning, the chances of you winning are a lot worse than 1/2n, which is what Blair said. Yeah, it's like nil. Yeah? So it's a great test of whether a client is serious about having you in the game at all. Always ask yourself the question, if I do this, who is left with the problem? And if I choose not to play by the client's rules, I loved Blair's stuff. If I choose not to play by the client's rules, the client is left with the problem unless they really don't care about us being there in the first place. And we've just saved ourselves 3 months and how many hundreds of thousands of pounds in pitch fees. So be bullish and negotiate at that point because you have the power of entry into the game. The bad news, of course, is once the game starts, our power definitely declines. We feel the pressure. We've put all the work into it. We've committed all the money to it. The pressure's ramping up. We're feeling the pressure, no question. We just have to ride with that, in my view. But let's imagine the client gets to the point of shortlisting 5 agencies now. It's not the final shortlist, but it's an intermediary shortlist. Our view is your power, the inflection of the curve starts to change. Now, you can argue, does it just flatten? Does it go down slightly less steeply? Does it go up? We would suggest it goes up a little bit. But the client is expressing some choice. And because the client's expressing some choice, the power certainly changes in your favor.